Usually when it comes to actors making it big, beginning your career and getting your name out there is the hardest part. A lot of times aspiring actors have to work odd jobs just to survive, while they do any acting gig they can get their hands on in the hopes of making it big. Once they do, it's smooth sailing all the way to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But what happens when celebrities stop getting contracts? For one reason or another, some celebs have fallen from the grace of La La Land and now struggle to find work, despite being household names. So let's find out exactly who is struggling to find work despite being A-list celebrities. Coming in at number 10 is Hayden Christensen. Hayden seemed to be on the cusp of stardom before he was finally cast as Anakin in the Star Wars prequel movies. For any hopeful celebrity, being cast as a lead in Star Wars would be a dream come true, and it has been for the likes of Daisy Ridley and Mark Hamill. But for Hayden Christensen, it is the movie series that is responsible for his downfall. After he built his resume with roles like Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark, and Life as a House, he obtained the role of Anakin Skywalker in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. But when the movie finished, he all but disappeared. While now Star Wars has been revived to a status almost similar to its heyday in the 70s and 80s, when Hayden starred in the prequels, it was far from the reception they had hoped for. His role was singled out as particularly terrible, with the actor being criticized as being, quote, timid and stiff, and comparable more to soapy teen dramas than to an actual A-list movie actor. After his appearance on the prequel trilogy ended with Revenge of the Sith in 2005, Christensen had won the Razzie Award for Worst Supporting Actor for his work. Coupling the terrible reception of what was supposed to be his big break with a string of badly received movies that no one even remembers anymore, it seems like Hayden is known more for a flop actor than anything. And now Hayden lives out his life on a rural patch of farmland and acts in about one movie a year, though he stated that he wants to be extremely choosy now about the roles that he thinks actually suit him. Number 9. Katherine Heigl. After her breakout role in Grey's Anatomy, which remains her most high-profile gig, audiences thought they would be seeing a lot more of Katherine Heigl. But it was also this role that became the catalyst for her immediate downfall and eventual career stumper. 2 years after she started on Grey's, Katherine starred in the movie Knocked Up with Seth Rogen. It made modest money, but nothing particularly amazing. Then she starred in the rom-com 27 Dresses, and in 2008 she was named as the most desirable woman according to AskMen.com. Then she did something that to this day her career has never recovered from. In a statement, Katherine announced that she had pulled her own name from the Emmys contention because she didn't think her role on season 4 of Grey's Anatomy was, quote, given the material to warrant the win. Quote, I did not feel that I was given the material this season to warrant an Emmy nomination, and in an effort to maintain the integrity of an academic organization, I withdrew my name from contention. In addition, I did not want to potentially take away the opportunity from an actress who was given such materials. People deemed it as a direct insult to the series creator Shonda Rhimes, and rumors started swirling around that Katherine was a major diva on set. Then, apparently she just stopped showing up to set on Grey's, and Shonda got to work to immediately release Heigl from her contract. Her diva status was her downfall, as after her abrupt leave from Grey's, Heigl failed to gain even a fraction of the star power she had been riding on for years prior. Nowadays, she's attempting to claw her way back up to the limelight and has even replaced Meghan Markle on Suits, but who knows if she'll ever recover even a fraction of the star power she once had. Coming in at number 8 is Macaulay Culkin. Beloved child actor known for his role in one of the biggest Christmas movies of all time, Home Alone. Macaulay was on his way to becoming one of the biggest names in Hollywood. Beginning his career at only 4 years old, by 10 years old he was nominated for a Golden Globe. But when he was 14, Macaulay started gaining more independence and realized that he didn't want to act anymore. He retired in his teens and lived for a number of years off of the cool $18 million he made from his child acting. Since then, Macaulay was barely in anything until very recently, with a few cameos and appearances on mediocre television shows. Nowadays, his most notable work is appearing in American Horror Story double feature and working for Gucci of all things as a model in their Winter 2021 role. At number 7 is Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser was at the top of the world in the 90s for his comedic timing, affable persona, and old-school Hollywood looks. He's well loved for his role in George of the Jungle and The Mummy. The Mummy movies ceased in 2008, but were arguably his most famous titles, and he was really well regarded for his roles in both drama and comedy. Then he transitioned to being behind the camera, directing a few movies that achieved critical success. And then he just vanished. The actor had lost his mother around 2016, around the time the sad Brendan Fraser memes cropped up, and it devastated him. Couple that with his divorce from the mother of his 3 children, Afton Smith, and the actor fell into a deep depression. Then in 2018, he accused Hollywood Foreign Press Association president of inappropriate action towards him back in 2003, and he said that that was the real reason why he disappeared. He was effectively blacklisted from Hollywood and refused work. Since then, he has received a massive reprisal and a newfound fan base who are committed to supporting Brendan, who many believe got a very raw deal by Hollywood back in the day, who continually fat shames him as he gained weight during the loss of his mother and wife. He is now also slowly making a return to movies with a few roles in television, and now he's set to be in the newest Martin Scorsese film and as a supervillain in Batgirl next year. I'm so excited for it, I love him. And at number 6 is Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was a staple in physical comedy through his slapstick roles in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, and as Count Olaf in Series of Unfortunate Events. He became the first actor in history to earn $20 million for a single film and was at the top of his game in the mid-90s. He wasn't just a comedic actor, however, working in critically acclaimed roles such as Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and The Truman Show. Then Carrey sort of dropped off. Behind the mask of happy-go-lucky slapstick comedy was an extremely depressed person who sometimes was so depressed that he couldn't even show up to work. He also started to become a little problematic for his rather, well, wrong views that medications can cause autism, of which his son was diagnosed with in 2005. He became the face of the movement that has been debunked by countless scientific articles. With all of these combined reasons, alongside being bereaved by the passing of his then girlfriend, Carrey's career slowed considerably. Every once in a while he would act in a few movies like Sonic the Hedgehog, but overall, outside of his SNL appearance, he's been relatively far removed from the spotlight. He's now known more for his off-putting personality and strange demeanor. In 2017, he went viral for his comments at New York Fashion Week stating, quote, "There is no me, there are just things happening. Here's the thing, it's not our world, we don't matter, that's the good news." Ooh. He's also entirely retreated from social media, with the last post being a comic art of his character from The Truman Show's final scene where he steps out of the surveillance world he's been living in. And at number 5 is Amanda Bynes. She was one of Disney's most beloved child actors and was the face of teen movies for quite some time. Starring in movies like She's the Man, What a Girl Wants, Easy A, Hairspray, and many others, her name was practically a household one, especially if you had kids in the 2010s. However, now it's been quite a long time since we've seen Amanda grace the silver screen. Easy A in 2010 would be her final movie role before she announced an indefinite hiatus from acting that same year due to personal issues. She wasn't heard from really until 2014 when she had a very public Twitter-fueled breakdown due to her issues with bipolar disorder. It was also revealed that she had been placed under conservatorship, much like Britney Spears a year prior. This means that the star is unable to make any financial decisions without her mother's permission. Now, as of recently, Bynes isn't acting at all, and it will likely stay that way for some time, as she's currently appealing to her fans online to aid her in escaping her conservatorship, which was extended to March 2023. She's also set her sights on redirecting her career now that she practically can't get any jobs in Hollywood with the conservatorship towards fashion. She is currently attempting to earn her degree at the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. And at number 4, we've got Lindsay Lohan, who was at the absolute top of her game in the early 2010s. Another child actor whose downfall was sadly recorded all too well, Lindsay Lohan was a bona fide A-list celebrity by 10 years old. She was named a top icon for teens in the 2000s alongside Britney Spears and Paris Hilton. While there are many factors that led to her being blacklisted from Hollywood, a large root cause of it all was her substance issues that landed her in trouble with the law quite a few times. Her rap sheet is a little too big to name all of them, but drunk driving, probation violations, trafficking of substances, and endangering others are just some of Lindsay's offenses. She was considered a hazard on set and just stopped getting job offers. She struggled to find work for a long time as she was also in and out of rehab. By 2013, she was having financial issues and her acting accomplishments had been almost entirely run over by her bad record, so she decided to move to Dubai just to escape it all. Now, however, Lindsay is set to make a comeback of her own volition by starring in her own romantic comedy called Christmas in Wonderland, which is set to release on Netflix sometime soon, we don't know when. Number 3 is Winona Ryder. While most kids today know her for Stranger Things, Winona was in her prime in the 2000s as the face of the oddball for movies like Heathers, Edward Scissorhands, Beetlejuice, and Reality Bites. She represented an era. Now, however, her career drop-off has been used as a defining example of the double standard of how men and women are treated in Hollywood. Winona Ryder was blacklisted and shamed from Hollywood because she was caught shoplifting in 2001. While other actors were profiting off of their insane personas, shoplifting was the nail in the coffin for Winona, who even to this day has not fully recovered in terms of stardom. She was on top of the world, and now she basically appears in television and the occasional movie role. By the time she was able to return to Hollywood, she had aged out of being a potential love interest, and now she's playing the mom of Spock at only 37 years old. She was refused work because her good girl image was tarnished, and sadly, despite still sort of being around, her reputation went out of the window as soon as she was arrested in 2001. Coming in second place for A-listers who can't find work anymore is Randy Quaid. In what I would argue is one of the weirdest departures from Hollywood of all time, the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation actor was at the top of his game in the 80s. As the unwelcomed, uninvited visitor in the raunchy Christmas comedy that had become a staple in Christmas movie lovers' homes everywhere, he was a well-known staple in Hollywood. He also starred in a few other blockbuster hits as NASCAR owners and loving father roles. In 2005, he was an angry rancher in Brokeback Mountain, and he was awarded a Golden Globe and an Emmy for his portrayal of Elvis's manager in the miniseries Elvis. And then in 2010, amid weird legal troubles that prevented Randy from acting for nearly 10 years, things seem to have gone a little south. Or should I say north, because Randy and his wife fled to Canada from Texas. Before that, he had begun to show erratic behavior, getting aggressive with co-stars on set, showing up in inappropriate outfits, go look that one up yourself, it's a little funny if not kinda sad, and he got banned for aggression from Actors Equality Association. He states all of this is because of the Hollywood Star Whackers, a group of critics who put hits on actors they don't like. He claimed this is how Heath Ledger passed away and that Britney Spears and Lindsay Lohan are next. He's been in and out of jail for vandalism and skipping out on court hearings. Very recently, he hired a private investigator to see where all of his money was going amid financial ruin. The investigator determined his wife was stealing from him to pay for illicit substances and a shopping habit, but he refuted the claims as impossible and remains with her in Vancouver to this day. And now, the #1 actor who can't find work anymore is Shia LaBeouf. Shia is another child actor we uncomfortably watched crash and burn. After getting a start with the Disney Channel through Even Stevens and the movie Holes, Shia was doing really well for himself as an up-and-coming star. Then he started to crash and burn amid substance abuse issues. He started becoming aggressive while on set and became a hazard, so much so that he was semi-blacklisted from Hollywood. Couple that with some badly received movies, including the awful Indiana Jones movie he did, he couldn't find work anywhere. Instead, he turned to internet conspiracy theories and weird performance art that often led him the target of online ridicule. Then in 2019, set to finally make a comeback, Shia was working on a movie he would direct and star in called Honey Boy. It was there that he met FKA Twigs, whom he would eventually date. After the relationship ended, the star alleges that Shia physically and emotionally harmed her to an extent that left her with physical and psychological scarring. That was the final nail in an already puttering coffin, where now he seems to be full-blown cancelled. Quote, "He is not an easy guy to work with. He's angry and he clashes constantly with cast and crew, and now he hurts women too. He's done," is a quote taken from the source close to the situation. Amid the lawsuit, he's basically said that he admits to having done it too. And now it seems like Shia will struggle to find any work with such an awful reputation shadowing his entire career. Alright guys, that's all for this video today. Let us know in the comments down below if we missed anyone. I've been your host Sierra, catch you in the next one.